How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be discussing my most anticipated fight at UFC 300, which is in only 3 days. I can't believe we're almost there. And that is Charles Oliveira versus Arman Tsarukyan. We're going to do a little delve into the fighters, just get some basics out of the way, and then I'm going to give my opinions and prediction for this fight. Starting with Charles Oliveira. His current MMA record is 34-9. Coming off of a brutalization of Beneil Dariush by ground and pound after getting a head kick in the first round. Arman Tsarukyan also coming off a win over Beneil Dariush. KO'd him with a right hook, I believe, was out cold. Gnarly KO. But, you know, on the flip side, Arman Tsarukyan, 21-3, 27 years of age, which is a big difference here because I believe Charles Oliveira is 34 years of age. And Arman Tsarukyan is, a massive youth advantage here at 27 years of age. So what are the basics to know about each fighter? Charles Oliveira, gnarly jiu-jitsu, great power on the feet, marches you down with reckless abandon, puts the pressure on you. Arman Tsarukyan, also a great pressure fighter, amazing takedown ability, great offensive wrestling, as well as, he's getting better at his striking every fight. You can tell he's making differences in his striking. But I do think Charles Oliveira has a massive power advantage here just because Arman Tsarukyan KO'd, Beneil Dariush. Doesn't really say much. Beneil Dariush is pretty chinny and easy to be KO'd at this point in time. And other than that, he doesn't have many KO/TKOs. So who do I think is going to win this fight? We'll start off with that. I believe Charles Oliveira will win this fight via first round KO. And, some of my reasoning behind that has to do with resumes. Some of it doesn't. The only thing I'm going to say about the resumes that play into this is Arman Tsarukyan was, brutally rocked in the fight before his last fight against Joaquim Silva. So I do believe that if Charles Oliveira connects flush, which is likely to happen in my opinion, Arman Tsarukyan will either be dropped or KO'd. The question is, does he have the recovery, or will he be able to impose his will on Charles Oliveira first? Some downsides for Charles Oliveira in this fight. He does get taken down. I do believe Arman can take him down, but he has amazing grappling. He's always able to get back up. As far as we've seen, he even got up from Islam Makhachev in the first round. So, I would give Arman the wrestling advantage, obviously. I would give Charles, the overall jiu-jitsu and grappling advantage. I would give him the power advantage, and I would give Arman the speed advantage. So, what do I think some of the narratives are stylistically going into this fight that are going to affect this fight? So I do believe that Charles Oliveira, with his forward pressure and his brutal knees to the body and his gnarly, clinch game where he'll get the Muay Thai clinch and use his elbows and knees, I believe that's going to play a big factor in this fight, considering Arman wants to get close to you, and that's kind of a danger zone if you are fighting Charles Oliveira due to his ability to clinch and land crazy clinch strikes. And also, I could see Oliveira pulling guard in this fight, which may be dumb, but it could also pay off. It's kind of a 50-50 situation if we see Oliveira pull guard. I don't want to see him pull guard. I'd rather see him, potentially rock Arman and get a submission if that's the route he wants to go. But, just if we're being realistic, he may pull guard, as well as Charles Oliveira has taken a lot of damage, so it is possible, like Beneil Dariush, that he gets clipped and put out cold by Arman Tsarukyan. And let's move on to Arman Tsarukyan. What are some of the downsides of Arman Tsarukyan? He's very new. He's, not super new, honestly. Actually, that's kind of a bit of a dumb statement. He's been fighting for a while, but he's new to elite-level competition. He hasn't fought a lot of elite-level competition outside of Islam Makhachev, who he lost to when he was super young. That was a long time ago. We're not even going to reference that fight in this breakdown here. So, super young. He is very hittable. He got rocked badly by Joaquim Silva. I do believe he is open to submissions. We haven't seen that yet, but just watching the way he grapples, I've watched a couple of these guys' fights before leading up to making this video. I do believe it is possible for someone as fast as Charles on the ground to submit him, as well as I do think, I just think he's a little green. I think he may rush into things a little bit too much, think he's got things down, and then just get, you know, brutally KO'd. I mean, we've seen him talking shit all week, you know, just kind of saying, you know, this is going to be relatively easy for me, and then I'm going to fight for the belt. He's already looking forward to the Islam Makhachev match. So I think he may have a lack of respect for Charles Oliveira, which we've seen in the past with other fights of his. He has a lack of respect for his opponents, and that can cause him issues. So what are some of the fan narratives going into this fight? I believe that a lot of the fans look at Charles Oliveira as invincible, and also they look at him as, if you're not Islam Makhachev, you're not beating him, which I agree with to some extent, that second point. However, it is a fight, anything can happen, and Arman is the best contender outside of, you know, the top 5 at lightweight right now. So if anyone's going to be able to beat him right now, outside of the top 5, I do believe it is Arman Tsarukyan. So I have to give the guy his props. You know, I'm a huge Charles fan. I picked him in this fight to win. But I do believe that Arman Tsarukyan, out of everyone you could match him up with right now, outside of Islam Makhachev, has the best chance of beating him. He's a scary guy. He's got vicious ground and pound. He's got crazy good takedowns. He's fast. But what are some of the negatives about, you know, Arman Tsarukyan? I've been seeing floated around by the fans that he got outboxed by Gamrot. I want to address that. So he did get outstruck by Gamrot, but he did win the fight with his grappling. I want to make that clear. It shows as a loss on his resume. I thought that was a robbery decision. I thought Arman Tsarukyan clearly won that fight. But he, you know, he does have a little bit of spotty striking. He's cleaned it up a little bit since then, but I do think that's where Charles will have the biggest advantage in this fight, is in the striking. If I was Charles Oliveira's team, I'd be telling him to try to stay on the feet as much as possible unless you drop him and an opportunity presents itself for a crazy quick submission. Now, I believe Arman Tsarukyan is the elite of the elite. I do believe he is the next coming age of the lightweight division. I just don't believe this is the right matchup for him. I do like Arman Tsarukyan's fight style a lot. I think he will be the future of this division, but I feel like Oliveira's particular skill set gives Arman Tsarukyan's skill set quite a lot of issues, and I do believe that he's not going to be able to pass this test with flying colors like he has others. But let's get on to Charles Oliveira a little bit. What's the biggest reason I think he's going to win this fight? It's his power. He has gnarly power. Even Justin Gaethje, who's been hit hard by pretty much everyone in the top of the lightweight division, said Charles Oliveira hits the hardest. He looks kind of unsuspecting, but Gaethje described it as being shocked by electricity. That's a little scary. But besides all that, you know, kind of corny phrasing of stuff, I do believe Oliveira has a massive power advantage, and if he does land clean on, you know, Arman Tsarukyan, they don't have much of a reach discrepancy. I believe Charles Oliveira has a couple inches of reach. If he's able to land first on Arman, I think this could be big problems for Arman, and I think Arman could get KO'd early in the first round, which is what I'm predicting to happen. People are saying this is a 50-50 fight. I don't believe this to be a 50-50 fight. I believe it's a close fight, probably 60-40 for Charles, but I don't believe this is a pick'em fight. I do believe that Charles Oliveira will show levels come Saturday night. So that's going to be it for the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I am super excited for this fight. Let me know on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you for this fight? And thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.